you're working at the level of the mitochondria, if the way we describe it is the boss theory suggests that we're reducing the negative impact of stressed mitochondria, right? And if you reduce the negative impact of stress mitochondria with 50 to 5,000 in every cell in your body, 2 million in your brain and neurons and your nervous system, then you're actually going to have what we have, which are head-to-toe testimonials. And our most consistent testimonial is that people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night, which is already a category that's very different, right? What is it that you're aware of that you can take in the morning that can positively impact sleep at night?
Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, it's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Inspire conversation. And every now and then I get asked by our viewers, John, why do you talk about health so much? Well, it should be obvious because there is so little of it in our visible reality. So many people are struggling, having problems. And what we want to provide is really good information and solutions, something that people can do immediately to help themselves. And this is really urgent, it's immediate, and it's something that people need to pay attention to right now. And if you do, then there are wonderful ways to help yourself get better and become the best possible version of yourself. And that's what I want to talk about today with our friends from C60 EVO, Miss Patty Greer and Mr. Chris Burris. It's great to see you both.
Hello, John.
Great to see you.
It's wonderful to have you. You both look radiant. I assume you've been well.
Thank God.
Super good, yes.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank Evo,
When I asked Chris in the green room, how you doing, brother? He said, so good, so good. I'm like, that's good to hear. And this is my preferred response, when I ask anyone, Chris, so good. What do you think? Why you're doing so good?
Well, your topic, let's talk about health. I've been really focused on honing in on each of a whole myriad categories to improve my own health outside of taking C60 EVO, right? So focusing on my mindset, focusing on my sleep, focusing on my exercise, focusing on my nutrition in general. And so maybe that's some of it, right? Like there's some of it coming out of this holistic approach. And I really think a holistic approach to your health is something that you're talking about and everybody should be talking about.
I agree with that. And I also agree that a lot of times people overestimate what can happen sort of in a short period of time when they make a change and underestimate what happens when they stick with it and continue to make those positive changes. It's quite amazing. At some point, it feels like, a hot air balloon and you cut all the ropes that kind of kept you on the ground and you just start flying and it's beautiful. I know Miss Patty is a walking, talking, breathing example of that, with quite a few challenges over the last years. And here you are, shining brighter than ever and, spreading the good word. So that's beautiful to see. But we also have a good section of our viewers and of the people out there that don't have that experience of life. They're struggling, they're in pain, and the symptoms are compounding. And oftentimes they don't see the common root. It seems I have this and that, but it seems that there's a common root to those things. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit, Chris. A lot of people don't know it goes very deep into the cell. It's something that's called cellular inflammation and or oxidative stress. Both of those things, uncommon things to talk about, but what is that? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so when you're talking about oxidative stress, really, let's talk at the level of the mitochondria, because I think that's the most important thing to hone in on. So real brief, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of every cell. There's between 50 and 5,000 mitochondria in every cell in your body, except for your blood cells. They actually have 0. And then your brain and neurons have 2 million. It is amazing how much energy our nervous system uses relative to our other systems. And we'll talk in terms of when you're thinking about oxidation and oxidative stress inside the mitochondria, that powerhouse of every cell, it is an energy producer. And like every energy producer, there are negative byproducts. You think about your car going down the road, you've got exhaust. You think about your power plant, you've got smoke coming out of the smokestack. In the case of mitochondria, you've got reactive oxygen species. The way I like to think of these, just to simplify it, is like they're little bumper cars, right? If they aren't managed properly, they run around, everything they smack into, they're rusting, right? They're causing oxidative stress, oxidative damage. And then inflammaging, which is this confluence of the concepts of inflammation and aging. So you mentioned inflammation. It's closely tied to aging, right? So this inflammaging process. So this is fundamentally most of the research that's coming out now. When I get to go to a lot of events, I'm really trying to stay on top of everything related to longevity. I'm listening to doctors and experts and influencers talk about aging on a regular basis, talk about longevity, talk about how we might even be able to reach the longevity escape velocity. All of these are fascinating, and what they tend to ultimately land on really is kind of two places. But I think the most important one, the one that we have control over, is this oxidative stress in our mitochondria. So how can we manage it when its knock-on effects are inflammaging? It's important to manage.
And I was sort of looking for numbers, and I saw that, and this is conservative. 75 to 90% of the people have elevated markers of oxidative stress and inflammation. So this means virtually all adults, have certain levels of it. And when it goes beyond certain levels, then it goes into diseases, pain, chronic issues, and whatnot. And we talk about in the context of this molecule that was discovered first for industrial uses decades ago, the C60 molecule. And then more or less by accident during a safety study, it was, shown to be extremely apparently beneficial to biological organisms. And then, you guys took it to the next level, and you cleaned it up and elevated it, and went through the evolution, created this ESS60, this human grade high potential. And Miss Patty, your story was one that you experienced it, not really probably knowing what it actually is, but you experienced the incredible power of it. And you said, I don't ever want to go without it any longer. Now you've been on it for quite a few years. What do you think, if you really want to say long term, what has changed in your life significantly?
I don't worry about dying because I'm only so busy living. And when Chris said, I am so good, I realized, gosh, I am too. And the things we've been through, but the things we overlook, such as the fluoride in the water, the chemtrails in the air, the toxins in the food. On the other hand, let's talk about solutions. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is killing it because he's pulling the colored dyes out of the food, the chemicals out of the food system, making America and the rest of the world aware of what isn't good to be putting in our bodies. He's also invested in getting the fluoride out of the water, and what a great thing. And I've also seen he and Tucker Carlson both finally talk about the chemtrails that you and I have been talking about for decades. So the awareness, I think, is one of the first stages of evolution. But when you talked about the evolution of industrial grade C60, which our lab makes for ink, batteries, tires, but not for people and pets, to the evolution into the cleaner version that is specifically for people and pets, we are the only lab in the world making ESS60, which is elemental safe spheres with 60 carbon atoms. In other words, a clean version of C60. So people need to be mindful not to buy carbon 60, C60, because it is industrial grade unless it's been processed to be safe for humans and pets. And that's what we do in our lab in Houston. And we've been doing amazing work. They have been for 34 years. So the EVO in our name is about the evolution from industrial to clean, marvelous ESS60. But the 2012 Paris Bhakti study that you referred to, where the test subjects, they turned out to be Wistar rats, lived 90% longer, and they used the product from our lab that we sell today, the ESS60 olive oil formula from C60 EVO. This delivered a 90% life extension, which is by far the longest longevity results in history on any
But
lab animals.
sorry, but it wasn't even a longevity study. It was a safety study, right?
Toxicity study. And not
So that
only,
was literally a side effect. A side effect was, oh, hold on.
oops.
It's not only safe, they also live 90% longer and don't have any tumors when they die.
And I'm sorry to say, I think they could have been 110% longer. But the scientists were like, oh, for crying out loud, these, hopefully they let them out in nature because they lived so long. But they weren't even ready to die when they were 90%. So that's all I need to say there. What's more important to me is that they died without tumors, which was historic for Wistar rats. So these are two things that are really important to humanity moving forward, which is to clean the mitochondria, the powerhouse of every cell, and then to move into a higher energy frequency in our lives. Head, heart, spirit. I mean, all of us needs to just lift our frequency and look forward to the immediate future I see. And you and I have gone in and out of having similar beliefs, but I've always had this carrot in my mind where I see a much better world. And it's probably because I keep taking this product that I stay optimistic, because it clears the mitochondria in my brain. And there's 2 million mitochondria per cell in the brain, a little less in the pineal gland. But when you're taking a product this potent, you take a spoonful in the morning, that's all you do. This is the easiest remedy or solution that I've ever found. And I'm old. I've been around doing supplements for decades and decades. Nothing works like this, in my opinion. Now, I shouldn't make that claim for anybody else other than the thousands of testimonials that have said, wow, I actually feel this. So even though I've got 2 boxes of supplements that are really valuable and important, I don't feel them when I take them. But when I take a spoonful of this, boom, 15, 20 minutes, I'm ready to keep working.
You know what's interesting? Our video editor, and she's gonna watch this because she's gonna edit this, and her parents were visiting not too long ago from Brazil, and she gave them, like we all do when our parents come, she gave them C60 EVO because she loves it. And her parents were like, they had an immediate, like, oh my God, so much more energy, well-being. And they immediately ordered a big box. They were like, this, we're not going to go without this any longer. And then my own experience was more of a buildup. And I've always shared this openly. It's like the longer I take it, the better everything, like literally. It's like a glow up over time. And now a couple years in, I feel it so clearly when I take it. And every now and then when we run out or something happens, I don't have it for a day, I feel the difference. But it's always, before showtime, our dog, Jagger, 15 years old, still around, miraculously, he gets it every day. But Chris, a lot of times people asked, so what exactly is it good for? It's a difficult question, because the broad answer would be, well, pretty much for everything, because it goes to the root of the problem that all other diseases kind of share or problems. But how do you explain that? And you're restricted in saying what you can say because of regulations, but how do you make that simple to understand for people?
Well, you bring up a really the interesting challenge with this product that we're bringing to market, right? The fact that it does so much, right? If you're working at the level of the mitochondria, if the way we describe it is the boss theory suggests that we're reducing the negative impact of stressed mitochondria, right? And if you reduce the negative impact of stress mitochondria with 50 to 5,000 in every cell in your body, 2 million in your brain and neurons and your nervous system, then you're actually going to have what we have, which are head to toe testimonials. And our most consistent testimonials that people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night, which is already a category that's very different, right? What is it that you're aware of that you can take in the morning that can positively impact sleep at night? I have conversations with lots of people. They give me, actually, at this point, I've gotten ashwagandha, which it turns out you have to take in the morning and then again at night, and could potentially have that impact. And there's another one that I need to dig into, but like we're talking extreme, like 2 out of all the potential chemicals that we're aware of, like, and certainly nothing like Ambien or these prescription sleep medications are doing anything like this. So you're having this profound impact by focus and energy during the day and then sleep at night. And I like to kind of think of what experience we're going to have. I would say that Patty kind of shared these kind of quicker and the parents of your Brazilian videographer, video editor, kind of instant results, and then you kind of more drug out. And I would say I'm a little bit more drug out also. The way that we like to look at it now is about a 3-month process, right? Where month 1, we're seeing focus and energy, right? And the testimonial that I lean on for that is we have a lady that we provided the product. She's an influencer. She was going to make a video for us. She took the product in the morning. She made the video that evening, and she shared that she didn't finish her cup of coffee. Now, if you're a coffee drinker, you noticed you didn't finish it, and then you reported it, right? And I'll share, I used to be a 2 to 3 cup of coffee person per day. Now I'm like a half to a full cup. And a lot of it is just like I wake up and I get to the office and I make a cup of coffee, right? Like it's more process,
it's a ritual,
right?
It's a ritual.
And it smells amazing, right? Coffee absolutely smells amazing. So that's what we're looking at. I'll also add, there's very good research if you replace olive oil for saturated fats that you're taking, there are weight loss implications. Like this is very well documented. So you have that potential. In month 2, we're really kind of focusing on sleep. I think that it falls into month 2 because of the fact that everyone gets 1 or 2 hours of sleep. Well, really, it's like 30 minutes more or less, maybe 1 hour more or less of sleep every night. And it's really hard to track it back to when you started taking C60 EVO. But the testimonial I lean on for sleep is my business coach shared that for 50 years, he needed an alarm clock to wake up. When he started taking the C60 EVO formula, he no longer needs the alarm clock, right? So he's a business coach. He's got mixers and dinners and all of these things. And none of that seems to matter except for, and you kind of hinted to this, if you miss a day, I'm like you, I feel it. If he misses right at about 10 days, he starts to need the alarm clock again. And then we think about month 3, we think about this fundamental impact on reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria, which should have systemic and head-to-toe implications, right? And we certainly have head-to-toe testimonials. What I like to think about is my father-in-law, he had a cane and he was immobile and overweight. At about the 3-month mark, he was able to walk without his cane. Now, this had this add-on effect of now he's able to walk more, which of course, not because of our product, but because he can walk more, he started losing weight. Start losing weight, you start needing your cane less. And so this just had this kind of cyclic effect. And it's that kind of system-wide impact that we start to see at that month 3.
Which is understandably, this is a communications and marketing nightmare when you're basically saying, listen, the reason why I can't say, oh, it's headache or it's this is because it goes to the very fundamental core of everything that happens in the body, and it starts helping with that. It's a cell hero or mitochondria hero. And I think these conversations are so important because then people can really wrap their minds around why it is so broadly helpful and beneficial, right? And we're only really just discovering this scientifically. You guys are running studies that you're excited about. And I think it's going to be a molecule 10 years from now that's going to be very, very well known, very well known. But what are the studies that you guys are doing? Miss Patty, I know this is usually Chris's department, but you're very excited about the studies as well.
I am. And it's only because of the consistency of testimonials. So the sleep testimonials have been amazing. And it's not just half an hour more. It's also the depth of sleep. Like people say, I'm having vivid dreams again. And I wake up in the morning and I remember my dreams. And sleep, needless to say, you get a bad night of sleep, you're going to be crabby the next day. You get a great night of sleep, you're going to wake up refreshed and ready to go. And then you shoot your Evo before noon and you're like powerhouse. So we did a sleep study. It may still be going. I'm not sure. The guys at the lab, yeah. But great results. And not a coincidence, or maybe it is, that we're getting a lot of headache testimonials of people that no longer have migraines. So we are proud to say we are running a migraine study on ESS60 results, because what an important gift that would be to so many people that are severely stressed out and dealing with it. And at this time right now that, the political energy is so fierce, all of us, we run on frequency. And so if we're not aware of really maintaining a consciousness with our frequency, we're going to kind of lose our marbles. And a lot of people, like you said, you're seeing a lot of crippled people out there in the world.
Incredible.
And a lot of the admittance now of Fauci's guilt of the thing, in the arm, a lot of people are really not well since that. So solutions are mandatory. And when we look at the heart soul connection, solutions, SOULutions, also need to be brought to mind. And this product, because it clears the mitochondria in the brain, which has 2 million of mitochondria per cell, the pineal gland is back there kind of, chasing the brain's energy. So when you are detoxing at these levels of taking this daily, you're going to start feeling more clear in the mind, most likely. We're not allowed to make claims, so I'm going to say, wow, what a coincidence. We hear so many testimonials about clear thought, better sleep. Oh my God, no more headaches. So call it a coincidence or not, but we are hearing wonderful results. And my Christmas list for all the people I care about, so easy, one-stop store. Even though I get a good discount because I'm a co-owner, I can't think of a better gift to give people this holiday season that they won't throw away, in 6 months or a year, or pull out that pair of socks and go, yeah, just what I needed. A little bit of Evo goes really far. And when you get that phone call of, oh my God, what'd you give me? Crack? Because it gives me so much energy. Crack is a bad word, but it's like they're mystified by the actual feelings.
And the truth is, it does not give you energy. That's actually not quite correctly stated. But you get to access your full, natural, beautifully given energy, because it helps. It's not like an external stimulant per se. It just helps to for you to access what's naturally there, which is even more beautiful to me. It's like, to me, that's the better version of it. It's not a stimulant as much as it helps the cell to give you that. And you're running a special, and that wasn't a mistake. It's a special.
It's a highly special.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I caught Chris off guard, but I heard him say, why don't we do this for the holidays? And I was like, what? Serious? We've never done a discount that big. 40%. So 40% is the biggest discount we've ever done. I'm holding him to it. Now it's in text. But it's only through our influencers. It won't be on our website. It won't be on social media. It's only people that watch your show or the shows that we do with other influencers. That's the only place we're offering a discount this large. And we're doing it not on obscure products, on our 2 best sellers. You can get 6 of these for 40% off. It's a 4-ounce bottle of Evo. I highly recommend people get it, or an 8-ounce, but the 4 ounce is on sale, and you get 6 of them. Keep a couple for yourself and give 4 of them away as Christmas gifts, and you are going to get so many points with your friends and family. Also, we have found that the other bestseller is our facial serum with the Evo. It's called the starter set, because both of them all natural, rave reviews, infused with ESS60, and you're going to get noticeable results. I'm going to say less than a week. You're going to notice, oh my God, my hair is softer, my skin feels better, I feel more energized because my cells are detoxed. So you're right, it's very much an inside job. And if we think we're going to get cures on the outside or take an aspirin for very temporary relief and then a stomach ache later, why not just take organic extra virgin olive oil, so darn good for you all by itself, plus the miracle molecule that won the Nobel Prize. So these are our two gifts to your audience, is 6 packs of these items for 40% off. We have all these other discounts as well. And we do recommend that if people want to get on the product, you can save 20% every month if you sign up for a monthly subscription. And we'll send it to you regularly until you call or write and just say, done. Interesting, we used to be at 53%. Now we're 70% of our customers are resubscribes. That's huge. To me, if there's any testimonial in the world, it's that right there, that 70% of our customers want it monthly. So we've got great customer service department. Our phone number is in the top left corner. Our email, our landing page, which people need to go to, is in the link below. It's our name, your name, c60evo.com/inspired channel. And the reason our name is EVO, like I said before, is we are leaving the industrial grade C60 behind because it's not safe for people and pets necessarily. ESS60 is all you want to be putting in your body. And I remember 2 years ago when you thought you were going to have to put your dog to sleep. Very, very sad. Big, gorgeous, handsome dog. And he's still here. And you're going on walks still 2 years later. Thank you, Evo.
He's still, we recently moved out to the farm here, and he's still, I mean, you know, he is 15, so he's tired, but he's still getting out every day, and he's doing his sort of, perimeter walk. He checks on the chickens and the goats, and it's quite a walk that he does around the property. And I'm always like, he does it 2 or 3 times a day. So it's very impressive. And at this point, and not just for dogs, but for humans, we're interested in the signals. What is it that's actually helping? What is it that's actually making a difference? And when you separate it from the noise, not much there's not much. There's a lot of noise, a lot of mediocre or crappy products. This one stands out. This is a signal, and that's why we encourage people to try it and then, experience it for themselves. c60evo.com/inspired channel. I think it's going to be very much talked about in the near future. And Chris, I'll kind of give you the stage to sort of write this out for today. Where do you think this is going to be in 10 years? And we can dream. You're not making any claims, but what do you think the world of science and medicine and the world at large will discover about this molecule?
Well, I think one, if you were to have a room full of mitochondrial experts, right? And you were to ask them, these are medical experts focused on mitochondria, and you were to ask them, hey, would you like a free radical sponge, a reactive oxygen species sponge sitting inside the mitochondria? They would all raise their hand. Not a single one of them would go, that's a bad idea, right? You got to worry about, any knock-on effects, which we have a clear understanding that this is safe to the point that the Wistar rats live 90% longer than the control group. So I think that as more awareness of this molecule gets out there, there'll be more medical professionals who are saying this is something that should be part of your regular routine and that you should be taking daily. And our current, what we suggest is take a teaspoon in the morning before noon. That's I can take it later, and often we do, but take a teaspoon before noon, and you'll be. Patty says cooking like gas, I think is what she says. So I think that's one piece, and then I think as we have elite
athletes.
Yeah, well, it's athletes, but there's super long distances, right? So we have ultra athletes. We have elite ultra athletes that are taking this. So it succeeds there. We have people who are addressing their concerns. We have pets that we're getting amazing testimonial. I love pet testimonials because there's no placebo effect. Like anybody listening to this who's never really heard it should be I wonder if the placebo effect has any effect. The answer, first off, is yes, because it has an impact on the drugs you take. It has an impact on the food you eat. It has an impact on the exercise you do. but it doesn't have an impact on pets, right? So when we get pet testimonials, we know that there's no placebo effect. So I think as this gets kind of pushed into different sectors, it's just going to continue to grow. I kind of think of it like CBD, right? You can barely, swing a rope and not find a CBD store. I think we have that level of value. I just think, a lot of people are disappointed in CBD. A lot of people have tried it, and, some it helps with them sleeps. They're getting mild results. We're just consistently getting some amazing results. And so I think we could, easily have stores on every corner talking about ESS60.
That would be wonderful. And I want to close it by just quickly reminding everyone, and we talked about this, that some of the world-renowned remote viewers viewed this molecule not too long ago. And what they saw was quite, to use the words exquisite, the most exquisite thing they've ever viewed. A molecule of light that knows where to go in the body. It's like it has its own intelligence. Now, these are all things you can't claim, and these are not scientific claims. This is a remote viewing session. But to me, it very much mirrors the experience. Like when you take it long enough and you take it in different scenarios, or you're in pain, or you muscle ache, whatever. Yeah, that's why it feels like that. It really feels like it knows where to go. It knows what to do, and sort of brings or lets your light shine, helps your genetic light shine. And to me, it's beautiful. So I want to thank you for all the work you do, the studies, and, for backing it up with science, and for the joy that you bring to people and their pets. Thank you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And Inspired Tribe, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back with you again very, very soon.